Good day, everyone. How have you been? Welcome back again. Welcome to my channel. I'm Ridwan. Welcome to Soft Code Math Academy. Now, today, I have a very beautiful thing for us, and that is what? The roadmap for Python. Let's say somebody want to, nowadays, people will be saying, okay, I want to become a Python developer. I want to do data science. I want to do machine learning. I want to do backend. So nowadays, even in terms of job opportunities, so as far as Python is concerned, Python is very popular for either data science, machine learning, AI, or backend. So today I'm going to share with us some of the important and the roadmap that I'm talking about is actually going to be the content, like everything that you have to understand, everything you need to know. So let's start. So let's start with fundamentals. Introduction to Python. What is Python? How does Python work? Different areas of application of Python. That is, what are the areas that we can use Python? Then best IDE for Python. How to download. What do we call IDE? That is an what? Integrated development environment. That is where we can write our code. Okay, so the best one for Python. And of course, we have so many IDEs that we can write Python code on. But at least for now, in this course, we'll be using PyCharm and we'll be using Anaconda. So Anaconda, inside Anaconda distribution, there is an IDE that we call Jupyter Notebook. It's very, very good, especially when we are going for data science, machine learning, AI. So it's very good. So PyCharm also is very good as well, especially if you want to build web applications, something like that. So how to set up and use Jupyter Notebook and PyCharm. So the first Python code, introduction to string. What do we call string? What is variable? Variable naming convention, different ways of naming variable, introduction to data types. We have so many data types. We discuss everything there. String and everything about string. List, the same thing. Tuple, set, dictionary, casting, either implicit or explicit, how to collect input from the user, everything like that. Then we move to Python operators. All the operators that we have: arithmetic, assignment, comparison, membership, and those are the examples. Logical, identity, bitwise. Then Python conditional statement. If statement, nested if conditions, that is, how can we define a condition inside another condition? For loop, what is the syntax of for loop? And nested for loop, that is having for loop inside another for loop. We have while loop as well, the same thing. Using conditional statement inside loop, using loops to draw patterns, zip function, list comprehension, set comprehension, dictionary comprehension, and their implementation. Python functions, non-parameterized function, parameterized function, types of arguments. All these types of argument, you see all of them in practical. So you see their practical implementation. Inner functions or nested function, passing function as an argument to another function, returning function from another function, decorator, generator, lambda, or anonymous function. We have filter, map, reduce, eval function, enumerate function, exception handling. How do you handle exception? How do you handle error in Python? We talk about that. File handling as well. How do you perform create, read, update, and delete? That's the meaning of CRUD or CRUD. So CRUD operation. So how do you create a file, read the content inside the file? How do you update a file? How do you delete a file? Modules and packages in Python. Yes, as we all know that we have inbuilt modules, we have inbuilt packages. We also have custom. We can define our own custom modules and as well our own custom packages. What is a special variable name underscore underscore name underscore underscore? We work with that. We talk about that in the course. Difference between ordinary directory and a Python package. Working with this in py5. Object oriented. We now move to OOP. See, no matter what you want to do, object oriented is very, very important. Very, very. Whether somebody wants to go for data science, machine learning, AI, you want to go for backend, irrespective of the library or framework you want to use, OOP is very, very important. Very, very. Because everything, they are always built on top of what? Object oriented. So everything is very, that's why we even say Python is an object. Like we say everything in Python is what? Is an object. Because when we start the full course on Python, one of the definition of Python is what? It is an object oriented programming language. So being an object oriented, so OOP is very important. What are the fundamental concepts of OOP? Inheritance, all the type of inheritance, all this. Encapsulation, what are the things that we have under encapsulation? Polymorphism, what do we have under that? Abstraction, what do we have under that? Then different public, protected, and private variable in a class. Yes, in form of security, there are some variables that we must be able to recognize them as public or protected or private. Then the same thing with method. And what do we call name mangling of a private variable? Then we move to multi-threading. That is when we want to be talking about concurrency utility. So that means normally, whatever the code you write, all our codes, they work like they are being executed sequentially. But we don't want, when we get to a situation that whereby we don't want a particular code to wait for another to be executed. So that is where we'll be talking about multi-threading. Asynchronous programming as well. So we talk about that. Serialization and deserialization. So how to serialize and how to deserialize on Python. We talk with that. Then at least no matter what you want to do, whether data science, machine learning, or whatever, or backend, relational database very, very important. So here we'll be talking about MySQL, because for relational database management system, we have many of them. We have like Oracle, Postgres, SQL Server, we have MySQL. So we'll be going for MySQL, and we'll talk about some of all these commands. Yes, they are fully practical. Yeah. Then how do we connect Python with database? Python database connectivity. So we talk about that. Then this GUI, where we'll be using Take Library, although it is not that very essential, but it is still important to just have little idea about it, so that maybe we want to build a desktop application, maybe to do something. Yeah, so it's very good, but it's not that very essential. So then also, for anybody that wants to go for data science, machine learning, and AI, all these mathematics and statistics are very important. So the maths, all these topics, straight line, etc., like that, provided that at least those students have already gotten some idea on, let's say, linear equation, some simple simultaneous equation, quadratic, indices, logarithm. Although in my channel as well, as we all know that in this channel, we do talk about what? Mathematics, Python, and Java. So in my channel, of course, I still have some mathematics concepts, so you can also go through them, can check them, and do refresh. So we have linear algebra, matrices, and determinant as all these concepts under that. We have scalar and vector, we have calculus, so that's differentiation, we have partial derivative, indefinite and definite integral. Then we have statistics as well, because statistics is very, very important, especially for anything related to data science, machine learning, AI. So it's very important. Mathematics and statistics is very important. Then after that, what are now the libraries that we have in Python for all these machine learning, AI stuff? So we have NumPy, we have Pandas, we have Matplotlib, we have sklearn. Under sklearn, we have some of all these algorithms. Then we work with them. All of this, you see their practical implementation fully. So then finally, you build an ML project. You build ML project with implementation of Take Library for the GUI of the model, so as to be user interactive. So that means you can build a desktop application for whatever machine learning project we have built. Also, we can also use a Streamlit. There's a very beautiful library of Python as well that we call Streamlit. Very good. It's very good to build a web application. So we can also deploy whatever machine learning project we build with that Streamlit. Then we have ANN and CNN. You can use all these TensorFlow and PyTorch. We have NLP, that's natural language processing. You can use all this one. Natural language toolkit, that's NLTK or SPACY. Those are the library we use for natural language processing. And we'll be talking about tokenization, stemming, stop word, lemmatization, etc. Then we can now move to web application framework in Python, especially Django, because it's highly in demand and very beautiful to work with. So talk about all these concepts under Django. So including Django MVT with every template, working with object relational mapper, building MVT project with authentication authorization, just like employee management system, infantry management system, school management system, so many stuff like that. Then we can now introduce to Django REST framework for building REST API, cross-origin resource sharing, JWT, JavaScript object notation, Swagger for API documentation, then how to deploy your project on cloud via AWS EC2 instance. So some of these things, all of them, they are very, very important. By the time you do all these, you can say that, okay, you are a Python developer. Some people will be like, is it a must for me to learn everything? Of course, it is just little by little, okay? But at least, if you get to this stage, if you are somebody that is going for data science and machine learning, you don't really need to come for this web framework. But somebody that is going for backend, then you need to go for Django. Then you don't need mathematics. For people that want to go for backend, you just have to come to. That means once you have, after you might have done this one up to this, let's say up to this GUI. Even this GUI may not take it, may not work with that. Maybe after the database, something like that. So you can still move to Django. Yeah, it's very okay. You can move to Django from there. Then you discuss some of the, then you build projects. By building projects and push to your GitHub, of course, you can start what? Applying like that. So this course actually, this roadmap is for both beginner, complete beginner, and what? And maybe intermediate and advanced people. Because there are some concepts that some people will think that maybe they have understood or they have learned. So when they see it here, they will know that, oh, they still have. Okay, see you guys. So in the next video, so we now start the course fully from where we'll be installing the ID that we are going to use. Thank you.